What if your social life was an adventure? I mean, a literal adventure. Today, we're diving into a platform that's trying to make that a reality, and it might just fundamentally change how we meet, interact, and maybe even fall in love. So, let's start with this question. We're about to explore a platform that takes this idea and runs with it, very literally. It asks, what if the best path to a real connection wasn't about swiping left or right, but about playing? First, let's set the stage a little bit. I think many of us have felt that fatigue from modern dating apps, right? The endless swiping, the texting that goes nowhere. It can feel more like a chore than a genuine search for another person. And this really frames the problem perfectly. On one side, you've got the reality for so many of us. You're isolated, you're just texting. On the other side, though, there's this promise of something way more dynamic, shared adventures, actual real-time experiences. And there's a new wave of platforms trying to bridge that gap. And that brings us to Zocialized. As we're about to see, its vision is, well, it's a lot bigger than just being another app you download to your phone. Wow. Okay, so this just brilliantly illustrates the sheer scope of what they're trying to do. You see some familiar ideas, mindful dating, a love coach, sure. Then you see some cool tech, like an AI music creator. But then things get a lot more futuristic. A bond integrity monitor? Maybe to track how healthy your relationship is? And then, whoa, a ZID chip implant. This isn't just an app, it's an entire ecosystem for your social life. So how does this all even work? Let's zoom in on the core technology that's supposed to power this whole new social experience, what they call augmented reality social games. Okay, so the crucial point here is that this is not about escaping into some virtual world. It's about augmenting our world. Think of it like adding a layer of digital magic and fun onto the physical spaces around you, all through your phone or an AR headset. And here's what that actually looks like. Instead of just grabbing a coffee for a first date, you could be teaming up to solve puzzles in a romantic AR escape room. Or maybe go on a massive citywide treasure hunt where every clue you find actually brings you closer together. It completely turns the idea of a first date into this cooperative, shared adventure. But you might be thinking, what makes this any different from just playing a video game with someone? Well, it's all about engineering a totally new kind of social interaction. Zocialized claims its secret sauce comes from mixing these 5 things together. It's about real-time interaction in these immersive spaces that blend the real and digital worlds. But that emotional intelligence part, that's what's truly fascinating. It's the idea that these games can actually adapt to your mood and your social style to create a more meaningful, personalized experience. And this quote, right from their own material, really gets to the heart of their mission. The whole goal is to use technology not to isolate us even more, but to build a foundation for more authentic connections by actually giving people something to do together, something to remember, something to talk about later. But as we kind of hinted at earlier, the vision for this whole hybrid reality thing, it goes way beyond just games. It points toward a much deeper and maybe more controversial integration between our digital and our physical selves. And here it is, the ZID chip implant. Yep, tucked away in their big list of features is this idea of a permanent physical link between you and the platform. This just immediately raises a huge question, doesn't it? I mean, AR games are one thing, but how much of our physical identity are we actually willing to merge with our digital social lives? It feels like it pushes the boundary from just augmenting our reality to permanently altering it, all for the sake of connection. So what does this all add up to? On one hand, you have a genuinely innovative, kind of cool approach to solving modern loneliness. But on the other hand, you have these massive questions about privacy and, well, the very nature of who we are. This is the platform's official tagline. And you have to admit, it paints an exciting, really optimistic picture of a future where technology just enhances our world with adventure and romance. It's a compelling vision for sure. But ultimately, that brings us to the final and most crucial question. Platforms like Zocialized force us to think about where we draw the line. Is gamifying our social lives an ingenious way to build deeper connections? Or does it risk turning human relationships into just another system to be optimized, right down to the hardware in our own bodies? That's the story we're all going to have to play out.